Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. Today is Sunday, 29th November 2015. Let's first start with chanting our pranam mantras. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Ladita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patika Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padaya Varakatha Dhamadaya Nagaragam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, Sloka number 44. Last month, almost after a month we are starting, more than a month, we did 2.42 and 43, where Krishna describes about the Vedavat Rataha, people who are so-called followers of Vedas, who do not know the purport of Vedas, and they think that they just go to the Karma Kanda portion of the Atharva Veda, wherein all the Papa and Punya, that's all mentioned, and how by performing some Punya and some rituals, you can attain heavenly planets, Swarga. So they get, Krishna says that they get attracted to the flowery words of Vedas. And then they get caught in this cycle of birth and death. And according to them, the only thing is the highest goal is to achieve Swarga. That conception is there in many other religions also. That they just talk of hell and heaven. You do something bad, you go to hell. Then you do something good, you go to heaven. Of course, sometimes they even say that this life is the only life. So how does it matter whether you do good or bad? But then they also talk of this. So they're all confused. In the absolute term, they're confused. Otherwise, it's okay. For self gratification, that's very interesting and important. So let's go to the Sloka. Let's recite that first. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya prahata chetasam. You can join now. You can chant. All those. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidhiyate.
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhauna vidhyayate.
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya prahata chetasam.
Swarya prashaktanam tayapakrita chetasam.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidhiyate.
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhauna vidhyate.
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya prahata chetasam.
Bhogaishwarya prashaktanam tayapakrita chetasam.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidhiyate.
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhana vidhyate.
Sound is some problem. Kamalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Bhogaishwarya prashaktanam tayapakrita chetasam.
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya prahata chetasam.
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidhiyate. Gunanishta Mataji.
भोगेश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहत चेतसाम्
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam
Prashaktanam tayapakrita chetasam.
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधो न विधीयते
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate.
Prema Vardhini Mataji.
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam tayapakrita chetasam.
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya prahata
Tayapakrita chetasam.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidhiyate.
Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate.
Word by word meaning. Bhoga,
Bhoga
to material enjoyment.
to material enjoyment.
Aishwarya,
Aishwarya
opulence.
and opulence.
Saktanam,
prashaktanam
for those who are attached.
for those
Who are attached
Taya,
taya
by such things.
by such things.
Apahrita chetasam, bewildered in mind.
Bewildered mind.
Vyavasaya atmika,
Vyavasaya
Vyavasaya, Sekai,
fixed in determination.
fixed in determination.
Buddhi,
Buddhi,
devotional service to the Lord.
devotional
devotion
service to
to the Lord.
Samadha
In the controlled mind.
in the
In the
controlled
controlled mind.
Na,
Na,
never.
never.
Vidhiyate,
Vidhiyate,
does take place.
does take place.
Translation. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. In the minds of those
in the minds of those
who are too attached to sense enjoyment
Who are attached
With
to
self-enjoyment
and material opulence,
and material
opulence,
and who are bewildered by such things,
and
the resolute determination
the resolute determination
for devotional service to the Supreme Lord
for devotional service to the Supreme Lord
does not take place.
does
does
not take
not take place.
So Krishna is declaring here the fate of everybody, almost everybody, because those who are not attached, the number is very small. So he's generally speaking for everybody except the devotees. And then he's saying that they are Bhoga and Aishwarya. They are all busy in that. Even if you don't have it, then sometimes you get it satisfied by looking at others. Like they make some very opulent movies with opulent sets and so on. And that is watched by everybody, by the poor and the rich and everybody. And then even the poor man gets involved in that, and then he thinks that, oh, he's also having that, he's seeing the apsaras and the mahal, the palace, and the forts, and the whole Pentagosmeria is there, and then you get more attached. You say, oh, I want to have it. Every poor man's dream is to become rich, and every rich man's dream is to become richer. Right? And they get bewildered. So how can they even think of going into samadhi? Samadhi means, we'll see the definitions by the acharyas. Samadhi means to trance, to get fixed, fix your mind upon. Concentration, the higher level of concentration is samadhi. Like you don't see anything other than what you are supposed to be seeing. Don't think even of other things at that time. That's why we go into samadhi when we have a nice prasad, nice rasagolla offered to Krishna. Becomes even sweeter, and then you say, ah, the devotees enjoy more than others because they know that it has been tasted by Krishna. Or you are dancing in ecstasy for Krishna, then you get into samadhi, you just lose yourself. We just came back from Vrindavan, and this was an everyday scene in our Krishna Balaram Mandir. Sometimes you will just go have darshan, and even when you're taking darshan, the old Matajis, Prabhus, small children, they go in front of Radha Shyam Sundar and they, just automatically start dancing. Nobody is telling them to dance. And they get absorbed. Sometimes the moment they enter and they see these deities, they start crying. in ecstasy. They just lose themselves, And that when they come out, the bliss on their face. I was just watching that, I always enjoy that. To see the bliss on the devotees' faces. Of course, sometimes it was too much, some Matajis, they were just going into samadhi, they say they get some devi or something in their body or something, they just go all over it. And then their family gets embarrassed. They can't stop that man or woman, But that's a little different than getting into samadhi. So Krishna is saying that these people have no opportunity to go into samadhi. They can go into samadhi of Aishwarya, of course, Aishwarya Rai, maybe, not the Aishwarya of Krishna. You can go into samadhi by looking at the Aishwarya of Krishna. There are so many beautiful deities. When we open our Facebook page or something, we see them and then we get into trance. So basically, here Prabhupada, while translating, says samadhi as devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That's the real samadhi. So that's why Acharya is not afraid of writing like that. He doesn't say samadhi means graveyard or something. He knows what it is. So let's see, some very, very powerful commentaries are there. So we'll just try to read them and understand them. So we take turns. We'll start with Guru Nishna Mataji. Please read this one.
Samadhi means fixed mind. The Vedic dictionary, the Nirukti says, Samayog adhiyate, smin atma tattva yathatmayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is said to be in samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment, nor for those who are bewildered by such temporary things. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy.
These are the strong words. This is, I said, sadhu means who speak the truth. He doesn't speak for the pleasure of Janta, or just to please them something. So here the Acharya is condemning the process of material energy. This process of material energy condemns. People think that they are enjoying, but they are being condemned. This is the real truth. You ask any materialist, and he will not agree. He will say, "What you are talking?" Even some of the religionists, so-called religionists, they also justify what they are doing. Like when I asked this question to one Christian missionary, not that I'm trying to cast some, trying to degrade them or something, but this is what I heard. When I asked him, why are you killing animals? And it said that thou shalt not kill. And he started justifying that by saying that this whole world is created by the Lord for our enjoyment. So these elements are also food for us. Of course, then we had a long argument, and all of us felt that we defeated him very badly. He had no answer for many of the questions. But this is how they, like for example, some of them in Advaitavada, the whole believe in Advaitavada, impersonalism, they also justify their drinking coffee, tea, eating meat, etc. By saying that this has nothing to do with us. We are Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, so I don't get affected by this. You people get affected because you don't think like that. I think, I know, I'm Brahman. So all these material things don't matter. So we enjoy, this is for our enjoyment. Like some Swamiji came here and they were serving meat, and then when the person who went there, he was shocked, and then when he asked, they said, same thing, same excuse for that. Yeah. They drink coffee, tea and everything, and then they say, not going to affect us. It doesn't affect me. So they're condemned. They're condemned by the process of materialism. Maya Devi bewilders them, confuses them. So sometimes they go into mental speculation. Could be like that, and it could be like this. So we'll see some very, very, very powerful commentaries condemning these people. Kamalini Mataji.
Those whose minds are attracted by the flowery words, who are attached to power and enjoyment, do not have the determined intelligence fixed firmly on one point, samadha, on only the Supreme Lord. The form of the verb, na vidhiyate, is reflexive, passive, karma kartari, meaning in this case is not attained.
So here, this kind of commentary you will find only in the Vaishnava literature, Vaishnava commentary, because Samadhi means, Prabhupada says, devotion to the Supreme Lord. But it says, one and only Supreme Lord. One point and only to the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So any other thing, like people try to meditate and then go into Samadhi. They say that we went into Samadhi. But if you are meditating on some Shunya, then that's not called Samadhi, according to the Vaishnava literature. Karma kartari. Vidhiyate. It cannot happen. It does not exist. Forget about it. Nada, as they say. So people saying that, I do that, and then I also go to Balaji once in every year I go to Balaji. That day, no meat, no egg, no nothing. Or somebody say only on Saturday. On Saturday is nothing. Like that. People have these very funny ideas of austerity. Or in South India, they have this. Some people go to Sabrimala, and then for 2-3 months they are so austere, sleeping on the floor with black clothes, no shaving, no bathing, etc. When they come back, they just take revenge. They indulge in everything just to, complete the quota, because they have a quota system. I did not drink for 3 months, so now in the next 3 months I must drink that also. That's how people are. That's it. Go find it. Dolly Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam.
Yeah.
They say that there is nothing else owing to their intense attachment to these results. They say that there is no fruit superior to heaven, etc. They are full of worldly desires and their minds are highly attached to secular desires. They hanker for heaven, that is, think of the enjoyment of the facilities of heaven, after which one can again have rebirth, which offers again the opportunity to perform varied rites devoid of true knowledge and leads towards the attainment of enjoyments and power once again.
So this is a cycle. They say, let me get some punya points by performing some pujas and so on. And then that will make me even, get a better birth, go to heavenly place. Where, there is no lack of liquor and soft beds and so on and so forth. So they hanker for that. For that, and the so-called Brahmanas, they also, lure them into that. Yajman, you do this, and you will get this, you will get more wealth, more everything. And you give this charity, so you get, into a heavenly planet easily. Many of the kathas in Puranas are also like that. They just talk about heavenly planet. Of course, even as I've been saying sometimes that even in heavenly planet there are gradations. Tapaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka. We just know of Swargaloka. People talk about the Swargaloka. And then within the Swargaloka also there are some various varieties. And similarly for the Patala also there is, for the hellish planets, Tala, Tala, Sutala, and so on, the whole list. And in each of them, for a different kind of sin, you get a different kind of punishment. So same way, for a different kind of pious activity, you get something, as for the karma kind of portion. But actually, the Vedas means, the study of Vedas is to elevate yourself from the material platform to the spiritual platform, so that ultimately you get into bhakti. That's the real goal. But here, that people just, go into this cycle. Powerful, more powerful. And then on more powerful. And then, like that. And then you do one mistake, you're gone. Everything is washed away. Even if we go to heavenly planets, when the phala, the fruit of that pious activity is finished, it's all temporary. Everything is temporary except Krishna consciousness, except the samadhi preparation. So you will see now very interesting commentaries. So we go back to Gurunishta Mataji. Gurunishta Mataji, are you there? Okay, Kamarini Mataji.
Samadhi here means the mind. The knowledge of the self will not arise in such minds. In the minds of these persons, there cannot arise the mental disposition that looks on all Vedic rituals as means for liberation based on the determined conviction about the real form of the self. Hence, in an aspirant for liberation, there should be no attachment to rituals out of the conviction that they are meant for the acquisition of objects of desire only.
So, the Vedic rituals are actually means for liberation. Liberation from what? From the cycle of birth and death. And ultimately, the goal is to go to the level of Atmanivedana, complete surrender. Vedas are actually nice, they also caution. The people don't look at the cautions. Like you buy a cigarette packet and there's a caution, it kills. But then you don't care. You just want to have the enjoyment. So that's exactly what people do. They just don't care about even Vedic scriptures. They just use what is useful for them. Like what is a good excuse. So there should be no attachment to rituals. That's actually the real thing. How many of us think like that? As I said, only a surrendered devotee can think like that. No. First of all, he will not go into Vedic rituals. He has been given the prescribed Vedic ritual. That is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then serve Krishna with the bhakti. Anyone or two or all of that. And while doing that, no attachments or the materials. Everything used for Krishna. So we talk of Mukta Vairagya. We don't talk of moksha, we don't talk of Vedic rituals and so on. Goli Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Regarding conceptions of heaven as the highest goal, they foolishly endeavor to attain it by the purview of their limited understanding, believing that once there they can fully enjoy themselves to their heart's content eternally. Therefore, those who are enslaved to wealth, enjoyment, and power for their own sake never are able to receive the spiritual intelligence which leads to fixed determination in regard to surrendering all one's actions for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord.
Here the Acharya speaks about the temporary results of doing all these rituals. Foolishly endeavor to attain it. You know, they think the heaven is the highest. Okay. And then they think that once I go there, then I'll don't come back. But that's where they go wrong. That's not, you cannot do it eternally. So the spiritual intelligence is that these are all temporary things. So why should I go after them? The real intelligence is to get a permanent happiness, eternal bliss. Why you want to miss it? It's available. You know? Like you go somewhere and then they offer you a air conditioned coach. I'm talking materially, of course. And then you still prefer to go by your second class. Then what is your intelligence? It's available free, but no, you have so many apprehensions. Or what will happen there? You know, they may trick me. They may give me some chloroform and make me unconscious and take me my money. You know, the same way. You know, when we go to Krishna, what is the guarantee that we will enjoy? Krishna will make you a slave, or Krishna, you know, will take away all your wealth, and then you will be left with no clothing, no nothing. People have this very funny apprehension. So it's only with the spiritual intelligence, Acharya says, you can surrender all one's actions, Atma Nivedanam, for satisfaction. That's the only goal of a devotee. Somebody else joining. Rashmi Mataji, welcome. Okay, you can read.
Arjuna may query why the Supreme Lord speaks about things providing pleasures of heaven. This is clarified by the Supreme Lord in this verse. In verse 42, beginning Yam to the word Taya. In verse 44, it can be ascertained that if salvation is the fruit, then any heavenly pleasure are merely the flowers.
Beautifully explained. What happens when you think of heaven as the final destination, or you think of Krishna as the final destination? So he says that attaining Krishna is the real fruit. We are talking of phala. So the real fruit is to attain Krishna. And heavenly pleasures are only a flower. Flower you can smell for some time, but you can't eat them. You can't. It doesn't give you full satisfaction. That's exactly what the Vedic literatures are. You know, they attract you. Like a flower attracts you, right? Flower is more beautiful than the fruits. Some fruits are also very attractive. But generally, you see, you know. So, question may come, you know, this is what the Acharya says. The question may come that why Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna about Krishna talking to him about heavenly planet. Because it's a fact. It's a fact that people are clamoring for that. People want that. And so Krishna is telling that what happens to these people? They miss the bus. They miss the real bus. They are happy doing what they are. They think that, oh, this is heaven. Like people go to these holiday spots and then they say, ah. And when we were traveling in Vrindavan, especially the day, I will never forget the day when we visited all the Ashtasakhi homes. They're so austere, simple, just maintained by one or two devotees. All the eight, one okay, except Lalita's thing is like on a hill, Ucha Gaon, some little temple built up, but otherwise, they're all. But the satisfaction that we are getting out of visiting them, the calmness, the whole atmosphere, they are so simple, so powerful. This is where the most opulent Sakhis, they lived, who were serving Krishna personally. They lived there with their husbands in the family life. But never forgetting Krishna even once. So we were all, many of us were in bliss. Of course, everybody enjoyed that, but we are in real bliss in those places because they are connected with Krishna, connected with Radharani. So we felt the difference. Like right across our place where we are staying. The moment you come out of the gate, or even if you go to the balcony, the famous Prema Mandir across the road, you could see it. And in the night they have these lights, colorful lights. The whole temple is decorated with lights. So when the light changes the colors. And people, moment you land up, earlier you Vrindavan you go, they just talk of Bhakya Bihari. The rickshaw will ask you, Bhakya Bihari, you will not ask any other. You will never say Goswami Mandir and all that. The Bhakya Bihari. Now additionally is Prema Mandir. But purposely we did not visit because we knew that all these glamour lights, and some of the lights are so gaudy also. Dark green and dark blue, like not soothing to the eyes. Even the choice of those things are something different. But anyway, the point is that when you come into devotion, or when you are even aspiring to be a devotee, then things change, start changing. The source of enjoyment is different. The source of bliss is different than the normal. These places, as I said, so difficult to reach them. Small lanes, and this driver was so expert, he really knew exactly. No signs anywhere that this leads to this. Nothing. If you go on your own, you might have asked 1,000 times people, how should I go? Purnishta Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Those who reveal only in the words of the Vedas are known as Vedavad Rata. They speak only of revealing in the pleasures derived from actions. Those who speak about the Vedas in expectation of fruits are said to reveal therein, and thus they are motivated by desire. The essence and the objective of Vedic scriptures is knowledge of the ultimate, which is the Supreme Lord, who is very pleased by those who are devoted to him.
As I said, this Vedavat Ratahas, those who are, addicted to Vedas, they just talk about this portion, Karma Kanda portion. And they miss the real purpose of Vedas. As I said, is to have the knowledge of the ultimate. That's what the Vedas are meant for. And here, again, as I said, the only Vaishnava Acharya will say, ultimate is nothing else but Supreme Lord Krishna. They will not get stuck at Brahman and so on, because they know what is absolute truth. Remember I told you the story of the Iranian people who came to India and they came in search of absolute truth. This was exactly in marathon period. Now we have this book marathon starting from Tuesday. December is the book marathon month. And then the devotee said, yes, you come to the right place. You want to see absolute truth? And they said, yes. They bought some books and then devotees asked them to come to the temple. They gave the address of the temple and they came to the temple morning 4:30 with the Mangalarti time. So they're there before that, and then they're all anxious to see this absolute truth. And the devotees were just going on telling them, yes, just wait. And then the Pujari comes, blows the conch. The devotees tell this in his ear. Now when the curtain opens, you will see absolute truth. And the atmosphere is created, the conch is blown, and then he opens the curtain. And there inside, Radha Krishna. And everybody is, they see that everybody is on their Dandavat, they've just fallen like a rock, chanting some mantras. And let's look at the beautiful Radha Krishna. The tears start flowing and they say, oh, this is absolute truth. We agree, there cannot be any other absolute truth. So, for devotees, it's very easy. They don't have to speculate. They don't have to get complicated, confused, mental speculation and other things. Kamalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In reference to those pursuing the goals of opulence and pleasure, and in reference to the means of acquiring those fruits thereof, these Vedavadrats declare that this is knowledge of Vedanta. For these persons, spiritual intelligence and comprehensive discrimination does not manifest itself in the form of an equanimous intellect. Only those in whom spiritual intelligence has awakened have comprehensive knowledge of the Supreme Lord and the total satisfaction of mind and senses that accompanies it.
Of course, this is coming from an Acharya who's great, scientist in the Dvaita philosophy. So he says, you have to discriminate between yourself and spiritual and the Supreme Lord. We are not one. He says, we are two. We are we and he is he. So he rejects, first of all, this Advaita philosophy of everything is one. That's the Vedanta. They say that Vedanta means displeasure, etc. Which merge into the. Of course, sometimes they also talk of non-attachment, but it's all in a negative way. When we say attachment cannot be got rid of. Only you have to change the person. From the material enjoyment, attachment, you become attached. You become lusty about Krishna. So this is what he calls as spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence, according to him, means to understand and discriminate between who we are. So we are, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and he just, cements that and says, we are the eternal servants of the Lord. Krishna is our eternal master. We are our eternal servants. That is the Jivera Swarupa, Hoye Krishna Das. And I said, that brings with it all the wonderful things of humility, truthfulness, honesty, and all this important things. Automatically there. Automatically, like they say, devotees have all the qualities of a devata. When I say that, I qualify by that saying real devotee. I'm not talking of somebody in a dress like that or chanting mantras nicely. A real devotee who has dedicated his life, his or her life, in the service of the Lord. Dolly Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Factually, as things are similar is the spiritual intelligence. Knowledge which is distorted similarly is that satisfaction derived from such knowledge is distorted. Spiritual conceptions do not arise in minds which are influenced by distorted knowledge. In these minds, only a material conception of heaven and heavenly pleasures can be somewhat envisioned, but not the understanding that the Supreme Lord is actually the controller of all the worlds and the bequeather of all blessings, and that only by serving Him, by His grace, and only by His grace, can all living entities attain salvation.
So this is all what we are reading. Last four, 5 commentaries are by one Acharya. Very long commentary. And he's saying that, the satisfaction derived from a distorted knowledge is also distorted. So if your mind is influenced by distorted knowledge, like, you can become God, etc., etc., then naturally the satisfaction is also distorted. Because ultimately what happens is only a material conception lives with you. And then, as I said, as the Acharyas have been saying, they just want to deny the supremacy of Krishna. That's the only reason. They're all envious of Krishna. The moment you accept that, then you have to start surrendering. And that's where the problem for them comes. The obstacle comes because everything is fine, but why should I surrender? Why should I surrender? I'm also equally powerful, as good as Krishna, like people sometimes say. And then, of course, there are some who come, why you want to be as good as Krishna? You can become Krishna. Just get rid of some of the small little things. Rashmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the Atharvana scripture, it is stated, the living entities who being are influenced by such words, doctrines and philosophies which are contrary to the Vedic scriptures, consider that the pursuance and fulfillment of desired objects is the purpose of life, and nothing else is superior to this, are most certainly deluded. Enjoying whatever pleasures they have managed to manipulate for themselves, they are repeatedly born again and again, cast down into the material existence, or depending upon the method of how they acquired their material opulence, even hurtled down to be born in animal species or in the hellish worlds.
All of us know that to acquire big opulence, one has to use, in this Kali Yuga, one has to use foul methods, shortcuts, tax evasion, there are tax havens, black money, and so on and so forth. There are so many things which, even if you give some charities, etc., you have to still suffer. Something can be reduced, but ultimately the method by which you acquire these opulences can condemn you to the animal species or hellish planets, you know. So there's no guarantee. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, there is all guarantees available. Guarantees of Krishna himself. That's the big difference between pursuing Krishna consciousness and pursuing Vedic rituals. Guru Nishta Mataji.
Those living entities who are unable to understand the reality of the Supreme Lord Krishna's unimpeachable position and thus unaware cannot have the realization of him as the supreme ultimate controller of all the worlds, both spiritual and material. Even if they be sincere, receptive, qualified, and noble beings, without receiving bona fide instruction from the Vedic scriptures, from one in the authorized process of disciplic succession, one is devoid of spiritual intelligence, returning endlessly again and again into a physical form in the material existence.
Again, you can see very strong statements. If you do not accept Krishna as the unimpeachable, you know, unimpeachable means undisputed, absolutely no two opinions about that, no ifs and buts. Then if you don't realize him as the Supreme Lord, Supreme Controller of everything, material as well as spiritual, then what happens? Then even if you are sincere, honest, receptive, etc., and all those things, big list, but not having this knowledge coming through disciplic succession to you, then you are devoid of intelligence. That's how. That's when you still have to come back again and again, because the doors of Krishna's kingdom are not open, not available. Remember that door opens from inside. It's Krishna who decides whether we are fit to enter or not. And so if you are if you are attending and attaining this knowledge through a spiritual master who comes in the parampara, then you are safe. Then their chances of you are getting into Krishna's kingdom are far more than otherwise. Very wonderful comments. The last one.
Those living entities who perform comprehensive sacrificial activities prescribed by one in the authorized line of disciplic succession for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Krishna, but who are in reality opposed to his supremacy, even if they have not acquired any demerits, even if they have satisfied their preceptor with gifts, even if they have manipulated themselves to attain some fleeting pleasure in the heavenly realms, still, when whatever merit they have acquired is exhausted, they will sink back down into the world of darkness.
Again, like put a little differently about the temporal nature of all these fruits. Even if sometimes when you are in the disciplic succession, everything is fine. Then but you just step out and try to see something different also. Like, okay, let me try that also. Let me see if I can become Krishna also. There's no harm in trying out, right? We think like that. That means we still don't have the full faith, full conviction. Then whatever merits we have acquired can be lost. The moment we are opposed to his supremacy, everything is lost. So this is the firm conviction of the Acharya, that there is absolutely nobody other than Krishna who is the supreme controller. So let's not even discuss. He said, I'm not ready to discuss also. Because not that he has that faith, he has that conviction also. And he knows it. Because everything points to that. Every single thing points to that. So in conclusion, it is much better to be a humble devotee than to be a great grand king somewhere, having all the opulence and building some temples also, so that his name is put on the temple along with Krishna and so on. That will not get you the ultimate result, the ultimate goal of life. So this is Krishna's conclusion. Thank you very much. It was nice to talk to you after a long time. So if you have any question, comment, we can discuss for some time. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one question. Is like, I truly believe in disciplic succession and parampara and guru parampara. But what if someone is not into guru parampara and still he believes in Lord Krishna, and he surrenders, and does he get a liberation? I mean, not liberation, the Krishna prema, or not? Not really.
Thing is, the only other way you can get Krishna prema is by Krishna's causeless mercy.
Okay.
So because he's like this, you're standing on only one leg. Okay. And then in that process, you are trying to balance yourself. You are used to living on two legs, and you are standing only on one leg. So then you are hoping that Krishna will somehow pick you up. Still, you are just like. But whereas the disciplic succession gives you the second leg.
Okay.
Support. So
Okay.
The thing is, when suppose the disciplic success is not available, then you can say, see, it's not available. I want to have it, but it's not available. Then you are depending on Krishna's mercy only, but you got a good excuse.
Okay.
But when it is available and you know about it, and you still don't see, like, for example, somebody in Africa, some far off place. Of course, now Krishna consciousness is in Africa too. But I'm just saying, let's say somewhere, they're not even heard of Krishna or this or this. And there somebody is worshipping something as Krishna. The thing is, in the very first place, he has been put into that place because of his previous karma. That he did something, such a wrong thing, that he doesn't even get a chance to get the knowledge of that.
Okay.
So people who are like in that situation are also, you cannot absolve them from any problem, because they created their own problem. Why they're born there? They're not born there of their own choice. They're born there because of the situation they created for themselves. So this is what people say a lot of times, that I love Krishna, but why do I need a guru or something? But then Krishna himself says that in Bhagavad Gita, evam paraparata parampara pati. So the thing is, whose order should we believe? Whose instruction should we believe?
Yes,
right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So again, in other sense, it's not impossible, but again, it's like sleeping under a mango tree with a mouth open, thinking that some of the
Mango
mango will
40.
fall in your mouth. So that's the situation of these people.
Okay.
Whereas if you are connected, then you know that the disciplic succession, the guru has taken the mango and is given to his disciple, and ultimately it's coming to you. Of course, all you have to do is put in your mouth. That nobody will do for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is the fastest way also to reach Krishna rather than you yourself is doing any
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why if you
intelligence.
remember
Yeah.
now in these commentaries we heard the word spiritual intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence, spiritual.
Spiritual intelligence means that you know the right path, you know the right method, you know the right
Mhm.
procedure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, madam.
Very nice to be back with you on these classes, Prabhuji. Nice class today. So there is so much of uh, importance or stress that is given that we have to totally believe and have faith in Krishna.
Yes.
So,
Unimpeachable. In this word we should
unimpeachable, yeah.
popularity
That
of
he is final authority
yes.
in everything. Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Danvat Pranam Prabhuji and Danvat Pranam to Mataji also.
Yeah.
Thank you Prabhuji for the class and also for sharing your Vrindavan experiences.
Now,
Thank you Prabhuji.
now for some few days you
Sir.
have to bear with me because every now and then I'm going to
Yes, Prabhuji, I was about to
go back
say
to
that
go back
you
to
please take a class
remember something.
on your experiences.
Thank you.
Thank you Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay then. Let me stop here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.